Alright guys, today we're working on our 1984 Volkswagen Diesel Rabbit. There's a couple things wrong with it. It's been leaking oil and sitting for 2 years. So we got a whole bunch of list of things to do today. We're gonna give it a shot, see if we can fix it. Alright guys, so we're gonna drain the oil here, but we're gonna also do the oil pan gasket because there is a ton of oil buildup over the years. This is an 84 and I've had it for 2 years now, but I've never changed the oil, and I never even changed the oil when I bought it. So we're gonna try to attempt here. Oh, that's lovely. That wasn't even tight. Who knows what this is gonna look like? Chocolate milkshake. Oh, there's oil in it. That's good. Now I did have to top it off a couple times because I do drive this to work, and it would definitely leave its mark wherever it would go. There's tons of oil in my parking spot at work, so the oil is very black. Looks like there's nothing really mixed in it, but it does look healthy. I mean, for who knows how old. But we're gonna let that drain out. And while that's draining out, we're gonna do this valve cover gasket because it leaks there too. Alright, so now we're on top of the motor here, and our valve cover gasket's here. And we're gonna take the air box junk out of the way. This is all a stock motor as far as I know. Get this unicorn out of the way. Don't need that. Pop these bad boys out. There we go. There's two down on the bottom. Just kind of get that. There we go. Alright, so that's all undone. We need to get this off here. Just gotta undo this little hose clamp. Alright.
Hey man, do you know how to work on one of these German vehicles?
No. That's what I thought. Get your pliers on here. Break that hose loose.
Yank it off.
Alright, that's off. We'll just let that hang out back there. Oh god. Take the filter out with it. There we go. Look at that. Filter's fairly got some oil.
There's some oil puddling in the manifold. That's nice.
Okay.
Crankcase ventilation.
Yeah. So let me grab the socket here.
Probably like 8mm or so.
Is that an 8? Yeah.
I think it is. Stop.
Nah. Oh no, it's a 10. Alright. So, looks like there's 8 bolts on the top here. Probably making fun of me for using a ratchet and not a gun or a pour.
You want to try and keep these things organized. you don't lose anything.
Yeah, come to you. Hold on. These aren't even tight, so could be a reason being that it's leaking.
They're not supposed to be tight.
But they're like less than finger.
Alright. Torque spec on this is probably not.
Cross thread. It's better. Just kidding.
When I'm working on, German vehicles, my torque spec is just good and tight.
There's that one. There's another one. Got two to go yet. Yeah, I'm not even using that ratchet. I'm just using the socket and spinning it. Alright, that's all 8 of them. Now this will lift off.
Be careful for these. You don't want to lose these. Got to reuse these. These help to distribute the torque evenly over the gasket.
Yeah, we're gonna have to clean them up. They're oily. Alright, we get a rag real quick. It's definitely oily. I'll just wipe this off. Get a clean surface. I'll pick the camera up here and show you guys what it looks like here in a second. Right now it's just sitting on the battery, hanging out. Alright, so here's the valve cover. See, that gasket's probably like the original one, if I guess, I have no idea. Somebody repainted it, it looks like. So it might have been off once or twice. There's the top of your head and your camshaft. Tons of oil. Pull this gasket out. Oh, it's crusty. Oh yeah, it definitely broke right away. This is your corkscrew gasket, almost. I would say it's definitely in need of a gasket. So all I'm doing here is just kind of scraping this junk out of here. It's just coming out in pieces. This thing is definitely shot. So I got a couple pieces off here. Looks like that. It's that looks like a wine cork material. Alright, so that's all that. Now I'm covered in oil. Where's my rag at? Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna wipe this out. Definitely a lot cleaner. You can see the old gasket here. Definitely junk. Okay. Looks like our oil drained itself all over our jack stand. It's been very windy today. So we got our trusty local Amish made gaskets here. This bad boy up. I think I spent about 3 nickels on this and a chicken. So, oh yeah, definitely. It's the same material, which is good. And it fits right in. Those Amish guys know what they're doing. I'll recommend you. They don't have a phone number. However, they prefer smoke signals. You need parts. Alright, that works. We got our RTV on the valve cover gasket. And you got your new cam seal here and here. So we're going to put this on real quick. Oops. Want to make sure your holes line up and not to rip the gasket. Oh, in the back here it popped out. Alright, she's on now. I was just gonna tighten it down. This thing is still dripping here. And we're gonna put the plug back in. I don't really feel like wearing this too much. I already have enough on me for today. 20 dang bolts here. And you just gotta take them all out. Plenty of access, but you wanna do it in like a NASCAR style. So it doesn't like drop off to one end and start leaking, and then the wind starts blowing in your face, and then next thing you know, you're wearing it. So you definitely don't want to lose any of these bolts because it'll leak. There's one. It's all they are, little 10mm self-tapper. Just kidding. So while I'm down here doing this nonsense, give you a little backstory of this Rabbit. I bought it about over 2 years ago, and before I bought it, it was sitting at one of my buddy's shops, and he bought it like a year before that and had a blown up motor in it, but he bought it with a second motor. It came with this one that's in the car, and I think all he really did to it was put this motor in and drive it maybe like a few times and let it sit for about a whole year. And then I acquired it, and I bought it because I work about a 40-mile trip away, and for all you diesel Rabbit guys out there, know that these things get ridiculously good fuel mileage, and I mean they're kind of cool. So I decided to buy it. I think we bought the car for like $800 the way it sat. I didn't even know if it ran. So I bought it, put a jump pack on it. Took a little bit, took about 10 minutes to start it up. And the first known issue with this car is it rides like a skateboard going down the highway doing like 150 miles an hour. It's got some aftermarket coilover shocks on it, which absolutely suck. But that's one of the things later on we're gonna do.
And right now, the only things I've ever really done to this car is I drove to work a few times, and it's very uncomfortable. But the car had a stuck injector, so whenever you would start it up, it would idle for like 2 seconds, and then it would do straight up runaway and hit the rev limiter. So I stuck an injector in it, just a single one, because I'm cheap. And that's our idea here, is just to make a very, very cheap but reliable beater car. So we got these all out here. There's literally like chunks of dinosaur crap falling off of this thing. Alright, so that was taking way too long. So I got my impact here. I was taking a break with my trusty Amish meat stick, courtesy of the Amish. It's even vacuum plastic sealed here. So what we're gonna do here is just zap these dang bolts out, because this is faster. Oh, I just touched all that oil. We're just gonna leave that there. Okay. Yeah. That one wasn't even tight. Neither was that one. Houston, we are sinking. There's holes in my ship. Let's get these ones here. Oh, look at that. That is no room. What do you know? What else is new? Okay, where's the bolt at? Right there. Yeah, so that's gonna be a little interesting to get back in there, considering my dang fingers don't fit in the dang hole. Alright. There's only one holding it over here. Let's get this. Oh god. Fat people problems. Okay. From my observation, that is all the bolts out of this thing. Oh, that's not gonna come off. So what you gotta do now is, where did I put that bad boy? Get yourself a BFS. It's a big freaking screwdriver. So, let's do a little bit of that. Need yourself a hammer too. Look at that. There's a hammer right there. How convenient. Just tap, tap, tap-a-roo. Oh, wow, she's super glued, I believe. There it goes. Oh, hello. Oh man, that one bolt's hung up. Take that bad boys out. Well, we are going to take a little siesta real quick. The 3/8 socket does not fit in between this little tiny gap here, so we're going to use a 1/4 inch. I do believe that is it. Alright, oh, hello. Wow. turns out there are pistons in here. There's your dipstick, Jimmy. Oh, hello. So take this. Yeah, that'll probably not catch any of it, but we'll just leave it like that. Okay. So my hands are covered in oil, so I'll bring this over here. Hey, DeWalt, this is our first ever oil pan drop on the Rabbit. It's very tiny. It only holds like 4 quarts, but your gasket here is, it's probably, I don't know. It's old. It's definitely old. It's brittle. So we're gonna scrape this bad boy off. It's not as bad as the not as bad as the valve cover gasket. At least I think. So we're just gonna rip all this junk off and then clean it up. But on the plus side of everything, there is no metal shavings in the oil, which is good. Let's find something hard and knock on that real quick.
Looks pretty black though.
It's definitely black.
But it's a diesel, so that should be fine.
When you're doing this, make sure you're always cutting towards yourself. So you're not going to stab your friend, you're going to stab yourself. Looks like they did have like, maybe that's the gasket. That blue stripe on there. I was thinking it was like RTV.
It's an old school cork style gasket, but the blue may have been a thin layer of RTV.
Now it's time for this section. Gasket's really thin in the back here. Actually, that would be the front. We are going to want to clean this up very well because I can feel the gasket all on my hands and everything. So we get a couple of rags here. Alright. The Amish provided us with their shop towels today. It's right down the road, middle of nowhere. Disclosed location though, so no one else can buy from them but us. Okay. Let's get the brake cleaner and go to our secret parts washer. Alright. We're just gonna wipe all this. It's very sludgy. You don't have to do this because you're just gonna put oil in it. But I mean, who knows how long this has been on there? Really? Could have been on there its whole life for all we know. You don't have to make it perfect, just make sure you don't have any gasket junk in there. That'll definitely not be good. We're running insane horsepower. We want this thing to go as fast as we can. A whole whopping like 10 feet per second. Alright, there we go. Fairly clean. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is take a couple of these and just wipe down the top of the oil pan, make sure that's really clean so you have a nice good seal on our RTV. Again, it don't have to be perfect, but it just has to be fairly clean so it can seal up. Now personally I don't really care because this is like a beater car, but it has to be a functional beater car, so we're gonna do it right. Somewhat. this. Now this is just oh, I'm an idiot. This is just high temp RTV. Oh, there's my beef stick right there. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this real quick. Basically, once you open this thing up, it's gonna come out like so. You don't want to put too much on there. We just want to have a steady bead because when you torque down the pan bolts, it'll ooze out. You definitely want to let this stuff dry before you put oil and stuff in there because it'll just, yeah, it'll get in your oil. Another product provided by the Amish. I don't know how they get that writing on that. Don't want to rip it. Here we go. Now you want to lay it on there. Line up your holes. Alright. I got it fairly lined up. Fits good. It's good quality. Some Amish wife is probably up all night sewing this thing together. Alright. Now we're going to put a little bit on the top here for good luck. In there. So get a shot of this. I don't know if I can see it fairly well. See a nice bead on there. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be on there. Okay. So now we're gonna move our pan out of the way here. Going to lift it up in, spread on some bolts so it'll hang in there by itself. Now you don't want to be moving this around too much once you have it pressed on there because you're just going to smear all this around. But before we do that, take this and wipe down where our hand sits on the bottom of the block because you don't really want, that's all the oil just from that. Now, see what I've done there? Kelsey gonna kill me. I just washed this. Yeah. Demon. Alright, wipe this up. You can go ahead and go the full John Force on this bad boy and spray it down with brake cleaner and whatnot, but you know, you can. I'm not going to because what the heck? Why is it leaking oil all of a sudden? This thing literally hadn't leaked the whole time I had it off, and now it's just pouring out of the pickup tube for some scientific, logical reason. We're just gonna lift this up on here. Whoopsie. Alright, that's in place. it's gonna be, I don't like that one, kind of hard to line it up because you're working with a gasket. And there we go, got it started. Got that one in. Let's get one down here. Alright, like I said, it started, it's hanging out there now. The wind is currently blowing everything everywhere, including my Amish made beef sticks. We are out, so our likely odds of survival are low. Alright, so I'm gonna put these up, oil pan in there, and these bolts are just threaded, so we're gonna just run them all in. Monster fell. Guess a little oil never really hurts. Yeah. Back in your trusty cup holder. Alright, that should be good. Only the best, cheapest oil we can find. $12 a gallon. We just removed our fuel filter. It's one of the things we were going to do while we were doing all this work to the car. We're going to pour a little bit of our Monster in here. You always want to pre-fill your fuel filter, but in this case I like to drink Monster for my fuel, so there we go. Let's just put it down here. My hands are gonna be all sticky from the Monster.